Hi, this is Gecko Mayhem. Welcome to episode 1.5 of my TBC anniversary series. Before we dive deeper into Outland, I want to take a detour. Because the Burning Crusade didn't just send us through the portal to face the Burning Legion, it changed the world we knew. This episode is all about new beginnings, new races, new starting zones, and the changes to Azeroth that made the road to level 60 smoother, faster, and more engaging. Let's start with the big one, new playable races. The Horde welcomed the sleek, arcane-hungry Blood Elves, survivors of the Scourge and defenders of their shattered kingdom. Meanwhile, the Alliance received the noble Draenei, alien pilgrims who fled the Burning Legion and crash-landed on Azeroth in a crystalline ship. These races didn't just add new aesthetics to the game. They added fresh lore, new story arcs, and a great reason to roll a new character. The starting zones were unlike anything we had experienced in Vanilla WoW. Eversong Woods is a golden, enchanted forest shimmering with magic. Nearby, the towering spires of Silvermoon City reflect the High Elves' former glory. Head south, and you'll find the Ghostlands, a corrupted, dangerous region teeming with death and decay. It's a sharp tonal shift, and one that helps to define the Blood Elves' struggle. On the other side of the world, Azure-Mist Isle feels alien and mysterious. Glowing crystals pierce the landscape. Fragments of the Exodar, the crashed vessel that is now the Draenei's capital city. The terrain pulses with otherworldly energy. And beyond lies Bloodmist Isle, a darker, more hostile zone where Blood Elves infiltrate the Draenei homeland. The atmosphere is tense, the stakes personal. Both races' zones introduced smoother questing, stronger narrative cohesion, and better pacing than anything vanilla offered. They were a preview of where WoW's design philosophy was heading. TBC also did the unthinkable. It gave the Horde Paladins and the Alliance Shaman. This wasn't just a cosmetic change. It shook the game to its core. Paladins became more viable as tanks and DPS, while Shaman gained Bloodlust, a spell so powerful it became a must-have in endgame groups. In the anniversary version, Lust will be raid-wide and come with the familiar 10-minute sated debuff, a welcome modernization. Before TBC, these classes helped to define each faction's identity. Letting both sides access them wasn't just a balance fix, it blurred a line that had always been sacred in the Horde versus Alliance struggle. It might not seem like a huge deal now, but back then, it was one of the boldest changes Blizzard had ever made. TBC didn't just expand the game world, it improved the one we already knew. Azeroth saw subtle but meaningful upgrades. Some zones were rebalanced, and new quest hubs like Mudsprocket and Dustwallow Marsh got added to smooth out the leveling experience. But the most noticeable change? The XP curve. To help players reach Outland faster, Blizzard reduced the total XP required to hit level 60 by around 30%. That made a big difference. But they didn't stop there. You also earned more experience from quests, kills, and dungeons. Put it all together, and the journey from 1 to 60 becomes around 50 to 60% faster overall. It still took time, of course, but it no longer felt like such a grind. Leveling felt smoother, more rewarding, and far less imposing than it did in vanilla. And here's a big one. Mounts were now available at level 30 instead of 40. That early 60% movement speed boost was absolutely game-changing. Whether you were traversing the Barrens, running back to hand in a quest, or just trying to find the right turn-in, it made the whole vanilla leveling journey feel faster, more fluid, and, quite frankly, more rewarding. These changes make rolling a new character feel less like a chore, and more like an exciting, streamlined journey. It's the ideal setup to get players into Outland at level 58 and on the path to 70. So the big question, are you going to re-roll during the pre-patch and start fresh with one of these new races? Well, let's talk about that for a moment. On the surface, re-rolling sounds like a great idea. And for many players it absolutely is. You get to start from scratch with a brand new race. You get access to classes your faction didn't have before. You'll experience the new starting zones, the changes to Azeroth, and that fresh leveling journey with all of the quality of life improvements we talked about earlier. But there are some things to consider. You'll be learning a new class, possibly with abilities and playstyles you're not used to. And depending on your choice, you might find the racial aesthetic, animations, voice lines, casting styles just isn't your vibe. There's also the time factor. You'll only have about 4 weeks between pre-patch and launch. That's not a ton of time to level from 1 to 60, especially if you have work or other commitments. Of course, you can always roll one of the new races after TBC launches. There's no pressure to join the crowd of re-rollers. People will constantly be starting new characters throughout the expansion. In fact, some players may already be leveling their TBC character, any race, any class, so they'll be ready to step through the Dark Portal on day 1. Others might use the pre-patch as a chance to experiment, test out the new races, mess around with new talent trees, or just soak up the updated leveling experience. There's no wrong way to prepare. The key is to choose what sounds fun for you, whether that's charging through quests with your main character, or taking your time and enjoying every moment of a brand new adventure. Whether you're starting fresh as a Blood Elf or Draenei, or jumping straight into Outland with an older tune, the Burning Crusade gave us something no content had before. A whole new beginning. New stories, new characters, and new ways to fall in love with Azeroth all over again. Next time, we step back through the Dark Portal into Hellfire Peninsula, where the real war begins. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow this journey all the way to level 70 and beyond. Let me know in the comments if you plan to roll a Blood Elf or Draenei, or tell me your favourite starting zone, vanilla, TBC, or otherwise. See you in Outland.